There was a good YouTuber, so his react to his dumb bullshit. And it's only 10 minutes and 1 fucking second, nigga.
So back in December of 2021, along with the mobile horror game sequel, I made a video called Awful SOURNALE Games, which basically had me go around the App Store and look at the many games about the spooky SOURNALE creature. But here's the thing. While I do think the concept of that video was fairly decent, the problem is that that video kinda sucks. So today, almost a year later, I want to return back to that video subject and remaster it with an epic sequel. So as usual, I will be going on the App Store to find many of these games. Some of the games range from simply not being scary to a downright fever dream mess. So without further ado, come join me, as let's take a look at some more awful SOURNALE games. So the first game I'll be playing is Slenderman and Backroom Scary. Oh my god, I'm already terrified. So as you can imagine, this game puts you in the backrooms and we have to escape from the spooky Slenderman. Reading the stats on the App Store, made by Jailson Cavalcante, the game only managed to get 1 rating that rounds up to a 3.0, with the only reviews saying, suggestion, make the pages a little easier to find and make Slenderman not spawn until you get the first page. And the more pages you collect, the more he appears. Also, make it an actual Slender Death static. And on top of that, please don't have Slenderman walk towards the player, he teleports. But yeah, a lot of the flaws I point out in this game will be based on what the review said. And the description reads, face Slenderman horror inside a scary adventure in the Backrooms escape maze. As surprising as it may sound, you have just fallen into the Backrooms along...
Sounds fun to fucking not care about the cringe game.
The worst possible and so on and so on. And now we're in the game. And oh my goodness, a bit of the title is clipped. So spawning into the game, it gives us a dialogue. You and Slender have fallen into the backrooms. Now you need to find all 8 pages to escape. So the first problem I have with this game is, like the review said, Slenderman is already coming to me. Now, this is kind of strange, because what made the original Slenderman unique was that you had all the time in the world to set up before you collect the first page. This one just has you immediately start running away from him. And also, Slenderman doesn't teleport once in this game. He merely just walks at you, and if you get too close to him, you die. Because of this makes the game really hard. Even though you are slightly faster than him at walking speed, combined with a low field of view and maze-like layout, you'll be dying to him a handful of times. And speaking of mazes, they're not great. Having to try and find 8 pages in a map with no landmarks or features to it really makes the game all more confusing, boring, and long. I've said this before in my Roblox video, but while the concept of the backrooms is incredibly good, it severely lacks in a gameplay setting, as it's nothing more than just a glorified maze simulator. But yeah, that's basically it. Once you collect all the 8 pages, you win. In conclusion, Backrooms Slenderman bad. The next game I'll be playing is Slender in City Horror, which unsurprisingly puts you inside of a city and has you collect some notes. Looking at the App Store, this game has a mere 2 ratings that rounds up to a 2.5, with the 2 reviews saying either amazing but or this is awful, with the description saying Slender in the City Horror game in which only the courage to help you. Do you like horror? You think you're brave? Try not to fall into the clutches of Slender and collect as many points as possible. Attention, the game is very scary. It's not for the faint of heart. Oh goodness, is that right? Well guys, I'm sorry to say this, but to the people watching this that have the faint of heart, please don't watch any further, as this game is really scary. Yeah, no. So before beginning the game, you get to choose what type of Slenderman goes after you. And wait a minute, are those just IRL human hands? So this in theory is a good concept, as it allows for some decent customization. However, you'll soon be delightfully disappointed, as I kid you not, they're just straight up PNGs. But now the game begins, and we have to go find 10 notes lying around the city. However, unlike the original where the pages had writing on it, these notes are just empty PNGs of paper. Great. Also lying around the map are the many PNGs of batteries that you can use to restore your flashlight. Now, Slenderman in this game is pretty bad. What a surprise. He actually does properly teleport in this game, unlike the one in the backrooms. But the problem is that he can only kill you if you stare at him, meaning you can be an inch next to him and he still won't kill you since you have to look at him. But if you choose to look at him for a few seconds, then you'll die shortly after. And it doesn't matter how far away you are from him. Even if you can't see past the rendering chunks, he'll still kill you. The movement in this game is also incredibly janky. The sensitivity is too high with no way to change it, and you're always constantly running. Though I'm not really complaining about that since this map is huge. But anyways, after finally collecting the 10th page, the screen says you win. And that's it. Really? There's nothing else to this? Huh. Well then, time to give this game a review.
It's one man in Detroit.
Take 1 part SpongeBob SquarePants. Take 1 part Transformers. Robots in disguise. Results Sponge.
The third game we'll be playing is Slenderman's Forest, which is probably going to be the best game we'll look at in here. But with that being said, it's not that great. On the App Store, this game has over 1,000 ratings that rounds up to a 4.2, which is surprising. There's even a preview shot that states how it's the closest game on the App Store to the original, with the description stating, "Introducing Slenderman's Forest, the most terrifying Slenderman experience on the App Store. Collect all the pages to escape from the Slenderman. Can you do it before the Slenderman gets you?" Wow, so at first glance, this game would seem to be pretty decent. And like I said, it's probably the most polished game we'll look at in this video. But despite that, it still has a lot of issues. So loading in, you were allowed to choose from 6 different maps, with the first 2 just being the exact same level, and the others include things like cities, warehouses, and more forests. So the first problem I have with this game is that it's a tad bit pay to win. When you make contact with Slenderman, you have this energy bar with you that goes down the moment you look at him, and once it's all gone, you die. This is an okay concept, but not only does the energy bar not regenerate over time, but even if you don't look at him, you'll still lose a bit of your energy. Thankfully, you can fill it back up again. How, you might ask? Oh, just either grind out for a few levels or buy it using microtransactions, with some prices going up to as high as $20. And because of how reliant you are on the energy bar to stay alive, this game actively encourages you to buy the coins. And even ignoring that, there were still a lot of other problems. Like this one time on the warehouse map, Slenderman got bugged and started staring at a wall, and continued to stay there for the rest of the round. Also on the forest map, he spawned outside the boundaries and started floating in midair. Oh, and this game on top of that has a huge rendering issue. For some reason, if you're at a distance from certain objects, they'll just disappear. This isn't bad on maps like Warehouse where it's all indoors, but in maps like the forest, places where the pages are will be completely out of sight once you get far enough. Meaning you have to estimate where some locations are, which isn't fun. And also, like I said in the last game, the movement and controls feel janky as well. However, in contrast to the fast movement and high sensitivity, this game slows you down to a crawl and makes you turn really slowly. Thankfully, by tapping the screen multiple times, you're able to run, but it's kind of unintuitive and it's probably a glitch. And of course, there's the usual bugs like texture overlapping, and being able to see Slenderman without him hurting you. I will give this game credit for at least trying to be somewhat decent, but all the problems that I've discussed before really bring this game down. In conclusion, stop having me pay for basic features. Alright, so the last game I'll be looking at is Virtual Slender Simulator. Not really a horror game per se, but it's still awful nonetheless. Looking at the App Store, this game has 121 ratings with a 2.8 star review. And reading the description, the game says Slender Virtual Simulator. A game application is a joke where you can chat with a terrible Slender. You are very brave, you are just bored and lonely, then our app for you. Dang, alright, this game thinks I'm lonely. Well then, let's go talk to Slenderman, shall we? So for some reason when loading in, you're able to access 3 contacts from Slenderman. Not sure why he has 3 accounts, but whatever. And as you might imagine, the DMs between me and Slender were about as alien as possible. Hey, I know where you are! Where? Answer me! Want a date? You're so stupid. Turn around! I did. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really know why I included this game, but it's here now. Yay. So after saying goodbye to the almighty Slenderman, I can now finally move on and leave. And now we're at the end of the video. So if you've watched this video but haven't watched the...
Hold on, guys. That's it for this video. Fuck you all, nigga.